Welcome to the Woodlands Area Chamber of Commerce Young Professional Network podcast, a show where we discuss topics related to business, lifestyle, politics, and other challenges that young professionals are facing. We want our millennials and Gen Z to strengthen today for your impact on tomorrow.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Woodlands Area Chamber of Commerce Young Professional Network podcast. Very excited about our topic today. So, our topic today is building an employee-first organization. And I can't think of anyone better to have here on the podcast today with us. We've got Barry Blanton from Blanton Advisors. Barry, thank you for coming by. Thanks for chatting with us. And I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about the company, your company, and we'll go from there.
Well, thanks. Appreciate it, David. I'm happy to be here. Glad you guys on the young end of the spectrum want an old guy as part of your program. My name is Barry Blanton with Blanton Advisors. This CFO consulting practice here in the Woodlands that is about to turn 12 years old.
Wow.
And we'll talk a little bit more about this as we go through it, but our goal is to empower entrepreneurs. We look at our job as putting better tools in the hands of business owners, better information in the hands of business owners, cleaner accounting, better financial reporting, and we like to work to empower entrepreneurs to make better business decisions about their business.
That's amazing. That sounds so collaborative. Yeah.
It is. We like to work in a collaborative way, and frankly, a lot of times we work ourselves out of a job. If we do our jobs
Too
well,
good at what you do, huh?
Our clients will outgrow us. That's true.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's just go ahead and jump right into today's topic. So today we're here to speak about building an employee-first organization. So I think what we should do first is look at what does an employee-first organization look like to you, and maybe if you want to define what that even means.
So we spoke off mic, David and I did. It's a little bit struggle for me because to me the first objective of any organization is whatever their defined objective is. I just told you what ours is empowering entrepreneurs. That's what we're focused on. But to accomplish anything, whatever our objective is, be it a service organization, a manufacturing organization, or a nonprofit, to accomplish any of those things, we've got to have resources. Those resources come in the form of people, and we need to have an organization where people feel good about what they're doing. They feel like ownership and management cares about what they're doing and that they're contributing. So to me, having employees that feel involved and engaged in their work is an employee-first organization.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, excellent. So I want to ask you the question, do you think having an employee-first organization, that definition or what that looks like in the workplace has changed just even in the last few years due to sort of just COVID, the Great Resignation, all of these things affecting the workplace from a younger generation, and how the younger generation maybe is looking for more out of the workplace beyond just a paycheck?
I think it has. I do think that companies that are good at this have been good at this for a long time. I think there were lots of probably healthy examples of employee-first organizations prior to COVID, prior to work from home, prior to the emphasis on millennials having different desires out of their work environment. You know, I don't know that ping pong tables and beer on tap at work, those things to me don't necessarily define employee first. Sure, some people may like them and some people may want them. Now, work from home flexibility is different to me. That is something that I think our work world is going to have to live with for a long time. I'm not a huge advocate of 100% virtual because I think it's hard to build camaraderie and get people to work in the same direction on something. Right. But I think that a mix of virtual ability to work is going to be in the common workplace forever. So yes, I do think that aspect of it has changed. Do I think that slides and ping pong tables in offices are here to stay? I don't know about that.
Yeah, it seems like you're not really getting a lot of work done if you're having a drink and playing ping pong. But I do want to bring up, so this is from Infido website. It's a blog post just talking about sort of 10 things that it takes to make an organization or culture employee first. And it seems like it's focusing more on creating an atmosphere that allows the employees to be themselves, sort of foster respect inside of the workplace between both the employee and their employer, and then just with other employees. it does have a little bit more of a democratic feel to it. So it gives them the opportunity to feel like they're being listened to, they're being treated fair, and that they can be themselves. Can you talk about maybe examples of seeing that in the workplace, or how us as young professionals can either one, ask for that or just implement that in our own businesses?
When I think about that, I think about a phrase that I try to implement in my own work world, but it's kind of based on collaborate, don't dictate. And it's because I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I like to surround myself with people that are, and the ability to work together and learn from others is, I think, a healthy way to work. Not everybody looks at that way.
Right.
But I do think that that's what that article is getting to. And to your point, I think that if we're going to be an employee-focused organization, our employees need to feel like they're in a healthy work environment. They need to feel like they're contributing. They need to feel like they understand the goal and what it is and what their role in getting to that goal is. I think those things are important, and you can't do those things without listening to people and involving them in the conversation about where the organization is going.
So if I'm a young professional up there and I am like, you know what, I'm going to start my own business and I want to start it right. I want to have an employee. Oh, I don't necessarily know if this is, I don't want to say if it's right or wrong, but I want to have an employee first organization. Or you know what, hey, I'm a young professional. I've been working here for a long time. I just moved up into management. I have ideas. Like, what advice would you give to that young professional thinking in those terms to get things set up the way that they want to?
So there's things I wish I would have known when I was younger. I don't think, and I said it a minute ago already, I don't think I understood the importance of listening. When I was young and trying to climb the corporate ladder and thinking I knew everything, listening was not a priority to me at the time. and it should have been. And if there's any wisdom from that, it is that there really is nothing more endearing or important that you can do for somebody, a friend or an employee or a confidant, than give them your undivided attention and listen to them. And does that mean that we can listen to every single, listen to people all day, every day, and listen to people whine constantly? No, it doesn't mean that. But it means that we can set aside time where we're not checking our email or looking at our phone while we're having a conversation with an employee. I think that's just, to me, that's a fundamental piece. There's a lot of other things. I started a business and said I wasn't ever going to have employees. And I still have largely independent contractors, but I have a team of 6 or 8 people now. Mm-hmm. I originally thought I was going to do it all myself. Well, there's only so much capacity to do that, especially in an independent consulting world. If you want to grow that operation, you need people to be able to do that, which is the basis of what we're talking about, from having employees and having them feel like they're contributing to something bigger than just themselves.
Right. And since you just brought it up, independent contractors, I know a lot of companies, especially a lot of these new startups, are moving. There's been this whole argument about, should they be independent contractors? Should they be employees? We're looking at things like Uber, those kind of companies. We're looking at people shifting to that gig economy. How do you balance the workplace environment between independent contractors and employees?
So first off, I'm going to stay away from the legal and tax question about independent contractors and the Uber legal matter.
We'll edit that part out later.
But I've built a business that's largely based on independent contractors. Okay. But I treat them like employees. We have meetings where they help set the direction for the company. It just so happens that they prefer the independence to possibly work for other people at the same time, to work at odd hours, to do things when they're scheduled. And 2 of them are moms who want to have time with their kids at certain times of the day or certain periods of their life, but still want to work some. Right. So, but I treat them like employees. We have employee meals, we have employee happy hours, we have employee planning sessions, and there's no difference to the people in the room that are actual employees of Blanton
right.
Advisors versus people that are 1099 contractors of Blanton Advisors.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So just listening to you talk, like what I just keep hearing is like, you just treat people like people, right?
you treat people like you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to be heard, you want to know you're contributing, you want to feel like you have a role that's meaningful, then I should treat you that way. I should treat people in my organization that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Almost like family. Any other thoughts, any other advice you think on this topic you could give?
Well, I do think that the point about independent contractors, I think there's probably a broader definition of employees today. Like I just said, there are independent contractors, there are people that, the gig economy or the piecework and things like that. And those people are just as important to our end objective. If our objective is to make or sell widgets or to make or sell services, and we can't do it without those people, then they need to feel good about their contribution too, even though it's not a full and a W-2 employee status.
Right. Yeah, actually, just when you think about too the fact that just the way that things are shifting with technology, I'm just thinking about this last year or two. I know I have so many young professionals, young people. I joke with them a lot because I'm like, oh, you're just too lazy to get off the couch. But like getting your groceries, I do. I'm so serious. So, but like, we get our groceries delivered now. We get our food delivered, and it's like, you have companies now that are working with other companies. So I think let's say you're buying your groceries from H-E-B, but it's being delivered through Instacart or Uber Eats or some other company that's delivering that. And it's like, how do you foster that relationship between the different companies and the employees to make sure that everyone actually feels accepted, cared for? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who's delivering my food. All I know is the place I ordered it from, right? So do you think that's something that we have to think about? Not only just who's in our company, but the companies that we're working with and those people.
Well, I do, because they're an extension of your brand.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the delivery service is not employed by the restaurant I ordered the food from.
Right.
But in my mind, when the food shows up, it's all came from the restaurant that I ordered it from. So they're an extension of your brand. And that's, in my small little example, I recently added an associate CFO level person, and that took me a long time to find somebody that I felt comfortable enough with putting under my name. And that's the way you have to look at it, I think. If you're going to use, if you're going to have third-party arrangements for deliveries or pieces of service or last mile delivery or setup or whatever the case may be in your particular business, those people, even though they may not be employed by you, you better have enough processes and procedures or controls around how they're doing their job that you're comfortable with them representing your brand. And again, they need to feel like they want to represent your brand. And if you're doing what we're saying here by treating them as employees and showing them the bigger picture of what the organization wants to accomplish, they should feel like they're a part of your organization, even if they're not an employee.
Absolutely. That's great. Well, that sounds amazing. Any other last comments?
One thing that I would say, and I think this quote has been attributed to different people over time, but it's a quote that sticks with me, and it's, people don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Absolutely.
And that's back to what we were describing about, people that come to work for you, they don't care for how smart you are or what you want to accomplish until they get a sense that you care about them and what they may want to accomplish.
Yeah, that is great advice. Thanks. So care, treat people like they're actually people. And treat everybody with the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Barry, thank you so much. And listen. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks, David. I appreciate it.